Yo, what's going on YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte. Guys, we're taking a look today at the Philadelphia Flyers as it seems like we are getting more traction between the potential for Seth Jones, the pending unrestricted free agent in Columbus right now, potentially heading to the Philadelphia Flyers this summer. We'll be taking a look at that in this video. If you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL and more rumor videos just like this one, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. Guys, let's take a look at these rumors about Seth Jones. So I've been talking for a while about this whole Seth Jones situation. Now, I did make a video a couple weeks ago thinking he was destined for the Dallas Stars. If he has it his way, he'd probably go to the Dallas Stars. His hometown team, they're a pretty good hockey team. They made the Stanley Cup Finals in 2020. And a guy like Seth Jones would obviously be a nice addition to the Stars. But again, with salary cap and other issues with the team, that may make things more difficult. So now you wonder, because let's be honest, at the end of the day, the organization has the rights here for a guy like Seth Jones. Where do we maybe see Seth Jones? And that's why I'm wearing the Flyers jersey, because supposedly the Philadelphia Flyers have been in heavy talks with the Columbus Blue Jackets, Jarmo Kekalainen, in terms of acquiring the right shot defenseman. Now, Seth Jones, this past season, had a really good year. He had 28 points in 56 games. Now, remember, we're talking about a defenseman here. He's getting into his prime. He's 26 years old. And in his NHL career, he's got almost 300 points in almost 600 NHL games. This is a guy that could really be a difference maker and the X factor for the Philadelphia Flyers blue line. And this is a team that, it's kind of frustrating because there were some guys on the Flyers where you were hoping that their defense was finally going to develop and become that really good juggernaut that we were hoping. You've got Ivan Provorov, Shane Gossbear, Philip Myers, Justin Braun, Robert Haig, Samuel Morin, and Travis Sanheim. And then not to mention in the system, you have guys like Cam York, Wyatt Wiley, and who else is here? That's pretty much it, really. So, yeah. There's going to be some change in Philadelphia in terms of their blue line. Now, I actually made a video in the beginning of last season saying, do the Flyers have the best blue line in the NHL? And yes, you could probably laugh at that now, but that obviously was not the case for the Flyers. They did have some injuries, which obviously hampered things for them, but still, it was a bad year for the Flyers. Shane Gossbear has 2 years left at $4.5 million per season. He was put on waivers. They've tried to trade him. Nothing seems to be working in that regard for Gossbear. Unfortunately, he is kind of stuck. You have Philip Myers, who has 2 years left at $2.5 million on his deal. Justin Braun at 34 years old, making $1.8 million this season, and he will be a pending unrestricted free agent for the summer of 2023. Or for the summer of 2022. Apologies for that. And then they have two defensemen that have to be re-signed. Travis Sanheim, 25-year-old defenseman. He has arbitration rights, and he is an RFA, as well as a Group 6 UFA in Samuel Morin. And again, same age, 25 years old. So there's some stuff to uncover. Now, easy replacements through, internally. You add Wyatt Wiley and Cam York to the blue line. And you instantly, get a little bit from that. And that's why I think they're trying to push out Gossbear too, because they're trying to move out that salary cap space. And that way they could bring in Cam York and Wyatt Wiley next season. That seems to be the goal for the Flyers right now. And they may even add more at this year's draft, just depending on how things go. So you add a guy like Seth Jones. Again, they have $13 million in cap space. So as of today, they could bring in Seth Jones if they really wanted to. But like I mentioned, they do have other guys that they have to re-sign. Guys like Nolan Patrick and Carson Twarynski up front. But again, those aren't that big of names. So Patrick may not even be with the Flyers. He has an RFA, non-arbitration rights. Unlike Travis Sanheim, that's really it. It's Sanheim and Nolan Patrick. Everybody else, it's really not too bad. Now again, you do have to re-sign your goaltenders. Everybody. Brian Elliott, Carter Hart, and Alex Line. I would expect some huge changes in that regard. You keep a guy like Carter Hart. Maybe you keep Alex Line in Lehigh Valley. But Brian Elliott did not work out last season. At 36 years old, he may just hang up the skates in the fall this year. So they got to go out and get a goaltender. I don't know how they're going to do that, but you have to figure out a way to address that situation because that's been a big issue for the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, I wonder if they look at a team like the Vancouver Canucks, because the Vancouver Canucks have Thatcher Demko, they have Braden Holtby, and Mikey DiPietro. Mikey DiPietro might be able to play in the NHL next season at some point. So maybe the Flyers say, you know what, maybe we'll take a guy like Holtby. Yes, we're taking on that salary. Maybe they eat a little bit of that salary, and he's going to be cheaper. He's going to be a cheaper option because of his lackluster play. So, again, it seems like a little bit of a long shot. You're bringing Holtby back to the East Coast, but it is something where the Flyers, if they're reluctant to give up a lot of assets, that may be the best route in terms of cheap, in terms of assets. That may be the best deal for the Flyers right now. So that's pretty much it. I mean, again, I'd love to see Seth Jones go to the Flyers. And him alongside Ivan Provorov, that would instantly make them one of the better D-cores in that division, in the East Division. So that is something you have to look at, or the Metropolitan, whatever you want to call it. That would be a huge upgrade for the Flyers. Well, let's just think about it. You add Seth Jones, you got Seth Jones, Provorov, who's even on that second pair? Travis Sanheim and Philip Myers or Justin Braun. There is no really, they need more depth on the blue line. I think that's why they are so concerned about having guys like Gossbear for the next 2 years at $4.5 million. It does hurt the Flyers a little bit there. And like I said, they can maneuver the cap a little bit because if they don't keep Nolan Patrick, which seems like they might not, and if they keep Travis Sanheim, they start to bring in some rookies like York and Wyatt Wiley. You're able to bring in Seth Jones, and you're able to re-sign Carter Hart. And the good news is they might be able to get Carter Hart for cheaper because of his bad season last year. I think that was a little bit of an outlier. I still believe in Carter Hart as a goaltender for the future in Philadelphia, but he had a bad season. So we'll see what happens. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What do you want to see the Philadelphia Flyers do this offseason? Do you want to see them maybe move out one of the big contracts? I've heard rumors out there that Seattle may be a big player here for the Philadelphia Flyers in terms of maybe taking one of those contracts of like Jakub Voracek or the Van Riemsdyk contract. Would that be worthwhile for the Flyers? Let me know in the comment section down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.